Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
It's December and I want it to snow. If not outside, then like this on my computer screen in a browser window like here. And so far I have my program where I have snow that lands and I even have letters that the snow can land on. But I'm still going to work on my program every day until the 24th. My plan for today was that I wanted the snow to stack here on top of the letters, so it's not just a single line of snow. But before that, I was thinking maybe I should also make the snow land on the serifs here and on like horizontal bars, and everywhere there would be a horizontal or semi-horizontal space for the snow to land. So that is what I'm going to do today. But first, there's a small problem. I see it looks like the snow is not on the letters but a bit above. I'm just going to take a screenshot to see what is going on here. And if I just paste it here and then zoom in, I can see that there are some very dark red pixels just below the snowflakes. But I know they are not actually dark red, they are plain red, but they are semi-transparent, and that means their alpha value is somewhere between 0 and 255. 0 means completely transparent like this, and 255 means completely non-transparent like this. But this is somewhere in between, so I have to change my comparison here. By the way, it also says there's an error. That's because it doesn't like this one, it actually wants like this. But I would say, okay, if it's greater than 200, I'm just guessing. 200 is, so I'm letting all of these partly transparent go, but then it would add. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, it looks fine already. I'm just going to speed it up a bit and then take a screenshot. And now I can see that the snowflakes are actually entered below these semi-transparent, and new snowflakes would then stack across them. I think that is okay. I can just adjust this value 200. If I set to say 50, they would probably be a bit higher up here. Let's take a look. And once again, just speed it up a bit. See, now they're a bit higher up, just above the dark red pixels. Honestly, I'm not sure which looks better, but I'm just going to keep it at 50. So now, my next challenge is, how do I get it to land here on the serifs? And once again, we have to go and make a drawing. See, a snowflake could land here, or it should be able to land here, or it would be able to land here on the max Y. And of course also on these slopes and on these serifs. A snowflake could come in from say any angle, could come in here, go through and somehow drop everywhere. So when I scan the canvas, scan the image pixels, I go all the way down and see if there's any non-transparent, and then I go here, I see, okay, there's a non-transparent, that was the letter top. But I need to continue, say, okay, so this was non-transparent, and then we have a few more non-transparent, oh, then it starts again transparent, so maybe it could continue and say, boom, 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 boom. Is there another? Yes, there's another place we could land. And then once again, scan through that and see, okay, it stops here. And then scan all the way and say, okay, max Y is the latest one. So for every X value, X goes on here. For every X, there's a number of platforms. I just call them platforms. And that would be an array. And for some x values, it will only be max y, but for others, it would be, there would be one here and one there, and then max y. Max y would be in everyone as the last one. So here in the code, I go through all the x values, and each one should have its own list of platforms. So I'm just going to create an array of platforms for this x value. I will have to store them somewhere else, but this goes for now. And letter tops I'm going to ignore. And then when I scan through, I find a non-transparent pixel. That would mean add a new platform. So on the platforms array, I'm going to push this value, this y value, and then I'm not going to break because I have to continue until the next one. But this will give me every single pixel inside the platform. So I just have to remember, okay, now I'm in a platform, and set that to true. And only when I see a transparent pixel again, then I will be not in a platform anymore. So here I'll say else if a is less than, I could say less than 50, but that's very close, so I'll give it a 10. So everything in between 10 and 50 doesn't change. So if a is less than 10, we have a transparent pixel. That means we end our platform in a platform is now set to false. We would just have to remember we need this variable, and we can't set it in the loop here because it would get reset every time, so we have to create it just before. Say let in a platform be false. We always start outside a platform. And then in the if statements, we have to check in a platform so that if we are not in a platform and we have a non-transparent pixel, then we get into a platform. And if we are in a platform and we see a transparent pixel, then we are no longer in a platform. So this should push all the values to platforms. And then at the end of this loop here, just before going to the next value, also push the max y. And that will mean the platforms would be push with config.maxy. But these platforms, they would just be forgotten. The moment this x value is gone, everything is gone. So we also need to store that somewhere. So let's say for every x, when we create these platforms, let's store it in something called all platforms. At position x would be platforms. And remember, it's okay to store it right away because every change is done to the same, so it will still be stored. And then we just need, rather than letter tops, I'm just going to remove it to see that it's not needed anymore. Let all platforms be an array. And let's see what happens. Letter tops is not defined. Ah yes, of course, I still do all the checking up here with if it lands on something. I'm just going to have to undo that. Let's see. Yes, and all platforms have a load of arrays. 602 arrays. And the first one is just our config max y. And then at position 14, we have, oh, this is very ugly, huh? We have 115, that will be here. 210, that will be here. And 682, that will be down here. So now we have all the platforms. Now I just need the snow to land on them. So let's re-establish this code that I uncommented before. Check if landed on a letter top should no longer be check if landed on a letter top, but landed on a platform. And we need to find the platforms for this position. So let the platforms be all platforms, and we need the X value. I called it index before, but I'm changing it. I'm calling it X now. That makes more sense. So all the platforms, and then we need to loop through each one to check if the snowflake hits this one. So I'm creating a for loop that goes through all the platforms. And let's just look at one platform at a time. Platform would be platforms at position I. So now, if Y is the same as this platform, then the snowflake has landed. So if our position Y is equal to, do we have a Y position? There was one here. Let's just copy that and put it up here with X. So if Y position is the same as the platform, then land snowflake. The flake, no, the flake would be this flake, because we're inside the method for the move method for the flake, and then this dot reset. So will that give us everything? We just have to uncomment this as well. So let's try it out, see what happens. Index is not defined. At position 54. Yeah, oh, that's the old one, old height. Get rid of that. Ah, yes, but that's because we want to check the height of the snow. Ah, let's wait with that a bit. So, no errors. But it looks like no snow is landing. How does this land snowflake method look? It looks at the landed array. It shouldn't really. We're going to give the platform that we land on, and then the Y position would be this platform's. Yeah, that would be this platform. And we have to count the number of snowflakes on the platform. We can't do that yet. So let's see. And then we have to give the land snowflake, give it the platform as well. And when it has landed on one platform, it cannot land on others. So we should certainly break. So that was break this loop. Yes, let's see what happens. Ooh, it works. The snow can land everywhere, but it does not land here anymore. I think I made a mistake. When I built here, it should be max y minus 1, because max y is just outside. I think I made that mistake before. And I'll just speed it up and see how the pattern looks. Have you noticed there are very few snowflakes left? It's like they've disappeared, and I have a feeling I know what's going on. If we look at the snowflakes, they have X positions. Can we see their Y positions? They are incredibly high values of Y, and that's because here when it lands, it has to be exactly equal to, I should have 3 equal signs actually. But of course, that means if it skips over max Y, if it doesn't hit exactly, then it just continues down indefinitely. So this should not happen at the lowest platform. So what would be the lowest platform? Let lowest be, that would be platforms length -1. That would be the last one, and since they are ordered from top to bottom, it would be the lowest. So if platform is Y is equal to platform, or the lowest, or if the platform is equal to the lowest and Y is greater than or equal to the platform. Let me see. So it should land if either it fits exactly, or if it's the last one, it should land if it's just beyond and above. Let's see, or below. And once again, I'll speed it up. This looks a lot better. The snow lands everywhere. Only I'm sad that it doesn't stack up and use the heights. But this episode has been pretty long already, so I'm going to commit. I'm just going to call it using platforms. And then tomorrow I'll see if I can reuse the heights and get them stacking. So see you then.
Let it snow.